On today's episode of the Story Detective, we are going to be talking about distinction and character and what that means for your writing. Every story has one, every character has one, but so does everything else in life. And most artists, including writers, take inspiration from everything in life. So today we're going to be looking at different things out in the world that have distinction and have character, and see how they might translate to your writing, and we will bring it all together, hopefully in the end. Stick around. If you're an artist, it's easy. Every one of these brushes is designed to give you a different type of line. And those lines are going to be either very sharp, very precise, or they might be very rough, very gritty. How does that translate into words? Because all artists, you're going to find out eventually if you're just starting out, look at different forms of art and they try to figure out, how can I translate that into my art? That's what thesauruses are for. It might take writing your piece half a dozen times, maybe more, and you're going to figure out what words evoke those type of gritty or precise, clean or raw. It's about feeling. It's about evoking an emotion. And that's detail, and it's also visual. When people talk visual in writing, you think about describing the cabinets, everything that's here with the brushes displayed. But it's more than that. Sometimes it's not even about the detail, it's about one or two things that give you precision and how you're going to evoke the emotion from within your character. Maybe you should experiment with different arts. Maybe there's other things you already like. Music, movies, photography. How would those things translate? Speaking of distinction and character, it doesn't get more evocative than this. This is nature, and nature is built over time. These crystals are a lot older than we are, and that reminds me that history is another great place to look, because you can always see every emotion, the folly of humanity, the good things that they've attempted, why they succeeded, why they failed. If you look at these natural minerals, they've also been changed and created and adapted to art. They've made trees. They've made jewelry. Everything is about adaptation and what you can create from the things that you have and experienced and what history has taught us. If you're a coffee lover, then you probably know that every one of these coffees has different notes. Some are chocolatey, some are more sweet, some are roasty. It's all there. It's in everything that you see and do in life. How do those notes combine to make your coffee that you love? And if you think about it, how could you combine the different notes of things to even blend a better coffee based on all your different opinions and tastes? And again, ask yourself, how does that translate to your words, to your work? Music is another great way to find inspiration and variation. If you listen to interviews with musicians, and they won't all admit it, so you might have to dig a little bit, but they look at the people who inspired them. They change notes around, ask how they could make it more rocked up or whatever their style is, but it's taking your influences and asking how you can adapt it to your work. And that may sound like a cheat, but everybody does it, including some of the biggest names in the whole entertainment industry. Comic book characters, especially superheroes, are nothing but modernized mythology. Mythology and comic books are another great point of reference to find not only ideas but style, and comic books also give you art. And we talked about art earlier. How can these things inspire you? Is it funny? Is it dark? Is it serious? There's all kinds of inspiration to be found here. And one piece of advice that I often give, and there's still a lot of people that ignore it, is to look at different genres. If you're writing a very serious piece of literature or a mystery, maybe read some children's books. If you're writing a YA fantasy, maybe try something in literature or mystery. Experiment a little, because those answers are out there. And that flavor that you're looking for to find your voice, you need to, just like the artist experiments with different tools, you need to experiment with different books, because you never know what you'll find. I mean, who would think? Banicula. This is a treasure for somebody out there. So what do I mean by all this? What is the point? The point is to get you to think, obviously, but there's a little more to it than that. You need to look beyond what you're doing, beyond your genre, beyond whatever your wheelhouse or safety net is. And I've talked to a lot of newer writers, and I know when I mention that, there's that fear. I'm gonna go to a place that I'm not ready to go to. I'm not prepared, I'm not gonna do good work. But the thing is, you can practice on a chapter that you put into a different file. You can write a short story. The thing is, somebody whose name I can't remember once said, if you feel fear going towards something, especially in a creative endeavor like that, it's usually a sign that you're actually going in the right direction. Getting beyond that boundary of fear is where your gold lies. And to do that, you need to take a few chances. If you're not taking chances and broadening yourself, then you're missing a lot, because it's a big, big world. And to experience it, as they say, the more you know, the more you know. I hope that makes sense to somebody out there, and I hope it makes sense to you and helps you to take the next step in your own evolution. For now, this is the Story Detective, signing off, and keep those keyboards clacking.